Hey, come see us on tour. We'll be in Duluth, Georgia, Jacksonville, Florida, Los Angeles, Tempe, Arizona, and Burbank, California. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for those tickets. Remember when Warren Buffett took his shares out of Apple and then the stock market tanked? They lost $3 trillion. Well, guess what he just did? Warren Buffett sold another 981 million shares of Bank of America. He's now holding $278 billion in cash and selling stocks like never before, including Apple. So what this means is that this guy thinks there's going to be a big stock market crash. That's what this means. He thinks there's going to be a big stock market crash, and he wants to have $300 billion on hand, so when all the stocks crash, he can buy them up at fire sale prices. I can't believe being 106 years old, you're still thinking about making money. But that's what he's doing. He's not out on a yacht somewhere. He's not out on a beach in Hawaii. He's not on a golf course. He's still working the market every day. I guess that's what he likes. I think it's like an addiction. But so this is ominous. So this was actually from this was tweeted out on the 28th. So today's the 30th. So this is 2 days ago. That's definitely what this says. It's definitely that he's getting ready for a stock market crash. Now you know why I took my money out of the stock market. I put my money in gold. I put my money in T-bills. I put my money in crypto. And what else did I put my money in? I'm just talking about my retirement money. My any other money I have, I was just in a bank account or in a CD. But my retirement, they make you put money in your 401k, so I do self-directed 401ks and I put it in that stuff. My dad was retired for 2 years by the time he was my age, by the way. My dad was a cop and he did miserable brickwork on the side. Boy, was it miserable. But here we go. And so let me show you this video. So this is by our friend Ian Carroll. Listen to what he found out about who actually owns BlackRock and Bank of America and all that stuff. Watch this. Tell me what you think, Kurt.
So I found out who actually owns BlackRock, but there's something really weird about it. Because by now we know that BlackRock is in the top 3 shareholders of basically every corporation in America and beyond. And they do this using our money in things like retirement accounts, pension funds, IRAs, exchange traded funds, mutual funds. But most people don't actually know who owns and controls BlackRock. We all know that it was founded by Larry Fink, and he's the face of the company, but he does not control it. When you try to find out who does control it, you'll usually find this list, which is the top institutional shareholders. Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street are right at the top, just like every other company. But this is not the whole story. Because if you dig deep enough, you'll find out that actually Merrill Lynch owns 45% of BlackRock. And they're considered an insider, so they don't show up on the top institutional holders list. This merger took place in 2006. So actually Merrill Lynch controls BlackRock in a big way. But who controls Merrill Lynch? Well, Merrill Lynch is actually a division of Bank of America. Because Bank of America bought them out during the '08 financial collapse. So who owns Bank of America? Well, nowadays, Warren Buffett is the top shareholder of Bank of America because he owns Berkshire Hathaway.
He was until he just sold almost 900 and something million shares of it. Okay.
Wow.
Billionaire investment firm. I'm still not sure what this top one is, this 25%. That's an anomaly, and I cannot corroborate what those shares are, but I found these shares. This is a screenshot from Berkshire Hathaway's 13F where they tell you all the things they hold. And I totaled up all of these Bank of America shares, and it equals 1,032,000,000 shares. That's 13% of Bank of America shares, equal to $33 billion. But I also dug in a little bit into where Bank of America came from and who founded them, and all modern banks are crazy histories of mergers and acquisitions and banks changing their names and merging with other banks, probably for no particular reason. But Bank of America traces its roots back in 2 different directions, one of which we're not going to talk about, and the other one is back to this Italian dude named Amedeo Giannini, who acquired what was then called Banca d'America d'Italia. Sorry for that accent. Over the years, it's changed its name to Bank America, and then in the biggest merger in history, merged with Charlotte-based Nation Bank in 1998. So I just thought it was interesting that half of the lineage of Bank of America was founded by this Italian dude that got really into Italian banking back in the early 1900s, you know, when like there was a certain Italian organization that was doing a lot of things with money back then. I'm sure it was all above board though. Obviously. But anyways, back to the weird thing that I can't figure out. Bank of America owns Merrill Lynch, who owns the vast majority of BlackRock. But they don't have anyone on the board as far as I can tell. Usually, the biggest shareholders of a company have representatives on the board that sort of represent their investment. But I've just shown you the whole board of directors of BlackRock, and none of them have any real ties to Merrill Lynch or Bank of America, which seems pretty weird when you own almost half the company to not have any board members. The plot thickens. So 2 things. If you want to follow the history of Bank of America down the other trail, you might wind up at a certain family name that you aren't aware of that is really hard to find on the internet. That'll probably get videos taken down. Total conspiracy theories. And the other thing is, if anyone knows more than me or is literate in this or has info about why Merrill Lynch and Bank of America have no representatives on the board of BlackRock, I would love to know. After all, why would you own half of a company and then have no say in what that company's doing? Or how do they have a say? What's the story here?
Very interesting. Well done.
So that's that black nobility, they call it, out of Venice. All those old Italian families.
Yeah.
It's real creepy when you look into it. Real creepy.
Why do they call it black nobility?
It's like how there's like 3 popes. There's the black pope and the gray pope.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I mean, they go, no, they don't have 3 popes. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. There's a mirror underworld of every single thing. I don't mean like literally, but you know, like there's a mirror version of every single thing because there's an underground economy too. And you can trace, if you look up Joseph P. Farrell, that guy does great work tracing all these weird things with bonds, like bearer bond scam. Remember I texted you that bearer bond thing?
Yeah.
Where it was like trillions of dollars worth of counterfeit bearer bonds in one country after another they caught. But it didn't make sense because what are they counterfeiting? They don't make bearer bonds that big. That's probably the human trafficking and the drug economy that they all make money off of.
Oh.
It's been going on quite some time.
Isn't it wild how it all winds up like they all own each other?
Yeah, circular ownership is what BlackRock is known for. So they own these companies, but these companies in turn own BlackRock shares. I don't know how that's legal, but it is.
I know.
And then there's secret owners. What's that shipping company that everybody uses? Like it ends in CHT. The big shipper, you know.
You mean UPS or FedEx or?
No, I mean cargo. Like,
like
the Houthis are blocking them. They're owned by there's some guy that owns both them and their competitors. So he owns all the worldwide shipping.
Really?
His name's like, yeah, I'll find the name. It's a name you've never heard. It's like Vinder. it's some like old ass name that ain't gonna be in the news. So BBC and the news are just a frontward facing thing. You're not gonna know the names of the trillionaires. That's what billionaires.
Wasn't Jackie Onassis' husband? Wasn't he a shipping magnate?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But even he would be underneath this family. And I looked at, I'll find the name of the family, text it to you because I can't remember it, but it's some name you've never heard.
Okay. All right. Looks like the stock market's going to crash. And
why?
Now we found out that, well, I don't know why, but I'll tell you this. He just took 981 million shares out of Bank of America so he can have even more cash on hand when the crash comes so he can buy up more stuff. So I don't know if
he was fingered in the Franklin scandal by a number of victims, even though we don't believe those victims. But in the Franklin scandal, the famous Franklin scandal out of Nebraska, he was pointed out. Hunter S. Thompson was pointed out. Bunch of weird stuff. If you go look into that, I remember the guy we had on that was speaking out at that Warren Buffett, Bill Gates convention.
Yes.
And they arrested him.
Yes.
Yeah. Real creepy stuff in Nebraska. Boys Town. Remember Boys Town? A town of boys.
Hey, come see us on tour. We'll be in Duluth, Georgia, Jacksonville, Florida, Los Angeles, Tempe, Arizona, and Burbank, California. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for those tickets.